Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're here to talk about the hit show of 2024, Solo Leveling. And as always, I have here Ramon, S rank Ramon,
Hey guys, oh thank you.
and
I
C
take it.
rank Raul, because
Ah,
C's pass, man.
hey, I can go ahead and see rank dungeons.
Man, well, it's something I learned from the show is you can be a B healer, a B rank healer, and still suck. So, you know, so ranks don't really matter.
Well, they
But
they, they do.
they do, and we'll talk about those ranks. But a quick note, man, just something that I hope everybody's learned from what this season did. If your show's only 12 episodes, do not include a recap episode as
Oh my
your
goodness.
as one
Oh my
of your
god.
episodes, because you will get the lowest
7.5.
graded Crunchyroll episode rank of all time with negative reviews,
Is
and
that true?
yeah, it's the lowest rank Crunchyroll episode ever because everybody like bombed it for being like nobody expected that, man. Like, why would you even do that? Like, we don't live
It
in
was
the days.
dumb.
So dumb.
7 episodes in, I'm pretty sure I can remember what happened in 7 episodes.
We don't
uh,
need a 7.5.
we don't need
Yeah.
none of that. But before we start talking about Solo Leveling, man, what do you guys been watching? There's been a lot going on. Ramon, what have you been watching, man?
Oh man, we got to start with this first. Well, clearly, besides solo leveling twice, started Fallout, right? Second episode of
Mm.
Fallout. Which I was telling Raul that I'm actually never somehow just always avoided the games. Not avoid. I just never played them.
Yeah,
So
same.
it's a quite of an experience to like really watch this because it's a world that I love already, and it just kind of makes me regret that I didn't play the games. But yeah, no, that's been a good one for sure.
Oh, cool, man. Anything else? I don't know. I know you were kind of on our Discord talking about X-Men, the latest
Oh
episode.
yeah, dude, X-Men
Oh
does
my
not.
god.
X-Men has not disappointed. Thank you for reminding me that because I'm pretty sure I watched something else today. Oh my god, no, I caught up to all the episodes available. Did not disappoint. I'm pretty sure I did share one tier on the last episode that's available. And yeah, like I like what it's doing, and
Remy.
I keep wanting. I just because the way it feels, like you keep just wanting it to be like you're like, oh, I watched this before, and you never have because this new story. So it's actually even better because what I do know from the comics and stuff like that is finally playing out in the animated series, and it's so good. This is so fun to watch, man. The Jubilee, oh yeah. Finally,
No,
like Jubilee some more.
sometimes like you get like, oh, we're bringing back a show, and you expect it to be like, like be like excited about it, but you don't really expect greatness.
No,
And
yeah.
dude, this is like holy smoke! I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they plan on just killing off the main cast or what. It's like kind of funny, but
Are they
think
gonna
about
go New Mutants?
they could, man. There's so many things that they've never touched on because it ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much they could do.
I mean, when they keep emphasizing about how the original X-Men are so old, even though they're probably just in their 30s at this point, like it's so funny.
Dude, I did like that Jubilee like power up they gave her. That was awesome.
Yeah. It was a way to kind of just really make up the character because, like, even growing up for us, like, ooh, she does fireworks and sparkles, and that's
Yeah.
it. And oh no, I really love that they did that, like the whole and how she learned from herself, like, ooh.
Yeah, no, really good. Ro, what about you, man? I heard you've been reading, so that's good.
No, I don't know. I didn't go to work a lot this week because my son has the flu, so I've watched a lot. So I'm in the home stretch of One Piece, so I'm in the 990s.
Nice.
I started. So I've been watching X-Men 97, but I started watching from the beginning X-Men
Ooh.
with my son.
Oh.
I'm still watching Shippuden with my son when the Ninja War. What else? I started watching Fallout as well. I'm in the third episode of that. I finally saw Wish.
Oh yeah, me too.
Let's
Yes,
talk about
yes.
Disney's Wish, please.
Yes, please. I enjoyed it. So if it's gonna cause an argument, let's go.
Oh god.
But yeah, and I read the solo leveling manhwa. Up
dude.
until like I read like one chapter further where the anime is.
I applaud you for calling it what it is based on it being a Korean. So yeah, nice, man. Nice.
Loving it, Raul. How do you keep everyone straight? Like, how's Storm not throwing a Rasengan like all of a sudden? Like, you know?
Man.
No, that's awesome, man. Sounds like watching a
Well,
lot of stuff.
what you guys can probably tell by the big sticker in my forehead, I've been watching, or I just finished Blue Lock. After watching Solo Leveling, I immediately went into Blue Lock because I wanted to watch something that else that people that was popular. And boy, dude, like like I'm just gonna say it, like I love Blue Lock way more than I did Solo Leveling, but and Blue
Okay.
Lock is my first sports anime that I really watched from like beginning to end and really enjoyed it. I have another soccer anime that I watched as I was a kid, but I didn't really watch it. I don't really remember it. It was just there on TV. This one's awesome, man. And Ramon, I'm telling you, if you get, just give it a chance, you'll watch all 24 episodes just like I did.
Well, no, it's funny because it fits perfectly into my life right now. Like my niece, my goddaughter had her first soccer game yesterday. She's a sixth grader in middle school. Or yesterday on Monday or whatever, Tuesday. And anyways, long story short, it was just kind of like, oh man, middle school soccer. It's been years since that, and put me already in the mode. So like, absolutely, like once you mentioned like Blue Lock, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. But just seeing how excited you are about it makes me definitely a little bit more excited because it's more than Solo Leveling.
Dude,
Dude,
it makes
it's gonna make you want to play soccer.
Yes, it's gonna
Oh,
make you want to play soccer, want to follow the sports, actually care about it. Maybe actually start like a soccer team, so you could call it like Green Lock or something. But yeah, it's you get really into it, man. Especially those damn suits that they wear, the training suits.
Yeah.
ah,
Oh
man,
yeah.
They're
here we
so
Or
go.
or, or
stylish.
you or you can join our team, our old people team.
I mean, you guys keep trying.
Because I started watching it in the last year in the summer, and I started playing soccer last year again. So like I would purposely watch it on Saturdays before our
For
games, just
motivation.
to get to get hyped up. It was like
Okay.
Ramon, it's very like Code Geass, very Gurren Lagann, very like we have weapons and main character trying to steal people's weapons, so make him his
oh
own.
kind of yeah.
Yeah, it's so
See,
cool, man. It's so freaking cool.
see, with social media and the internet lately, I'm just surprised that I guess it's not that I haven't cared to look into it more. I just, I stay away from these things
Yeah.
because in case like this, like I'm not going to be spoiled ahead of time. But yeah, it sounds great, man. Just especially still, not that I thought super highly of Solo Leveling, but just the fact that you're saying that you enjoyed it more. That's because Solo Leveling was still really good. Like, it was fun.
And if this guy doesn't win Blue Lock, then I don't know. I don't want anybody else to win Blue Lock.
Nice.
He deserves it the best.
I have a feeling he's not going to win Blue Lock, considering that he's not the main character.
You don't know that.
Well, I did know that he's not the main character.
Well, the main character was thirsting all for him because he lost him, and it's like I gotta get him back.
I don't know, but if he deserves a spot on your forehead all night, then I don't know, man. I'm faithful for him.
Yeah.
Mostly.
No, and obviously I kind of mentioned I've been watching Fallout. I'm like 6 episodes in, so I've been really watching it. I will say we're probably gonna talk about it next week, but I'm enjoying the main girl, Lisa. She's so cool. Like I've seen her before in
Lucy?
Yellow Jackets and another Tim Burton movie.
The Vulture?
Yeah, dude. And like, I want to say the way she looks, man, she has such big eyes. It's almost like she was breathed to be on television. And I don't know, I just feel like she has like the biggest puppy eyes. Like they're just going to fall off her skull and be like, oh, excuse me for a second. But I really been enjoying it.
How did I know Carlos was going to be more into Lucy than the ghoul?
No, dude. No,
the ghoul's
no.
missing a nose. Nah, not up to my standards. I like big
Voldemort
eyes.
or Red Skull?
Right?
Yeah.
Red Skull, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that whole world is super cool, and I just the
so
fact
good.
that Christopher Nolan's brother has a lot to do with it. I think that's
Jonathan
what makes it
Nolan.
even. It makes it even great because I think he directs the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
He's doing a crazy job.
I hope this is kind of like what Westworld should have been for me, because like Westworld, oh man.
Yeah.
But it started really good, so I'm kind of same with this. I kind of just hope that it just stays steady and doesn't make mistakes.
Westworld. I don't know, man. I feel like if you obviously that was sort of an original idea after the first season. He kind of started getting more creative with it, but it was just, I don't know, it got a little bit too. Like I didn't even watch the last season because I just kind of lost interest.
It was like labyrinths of our inner selves and how to get to our inner, it got crazy, man. It got very like cryptic.
I will say, I kind of in some of the interviews he mentioned he was sort of responsible for having Christopher Nolan direct like The Dark Knight and stuff. Like he was kind of like, dude, we should do this, like do it. So I'm like, oh, maybe he is like the cooler brother because obviously Fallout being based on a video game is kind of cool,
Yeah. I'm
Christopher
excited.
Nolan wouldn't do that shit.
He'd be like, wait, it's not based on science and freaking astrophysics? I'm not into it. Nope.
There's no time jump at all, or weird time things.
Exactly. Well, let's get to it, man. Before people are like, "Hey, I came for the solo leveling talk." But who's gonna start it off? Ramon, what did you think about solo leveling, man? Yeah, I think you've been the toughest on it from us three.
Well, I wouldn't say toughest. I don't know. It's weird, man. Because like I can't keep liking everything, and I'm not trying to be a hater of everything either. But it's just like it's another similar story to like a guy who's like the worst of the worst, or like kind of just people don't like him in a sense. Well, in this one they do like him, but it's only because he's so bad. So they kind of give him a sense of like comfort because if you have the worst like person in your team, then that means that you have an easy mission. And I like that whole idea, right? But then the whole story obviously becomes about solo leveling. But honestly, what I was really surprised is the whole idea of the solo leveling, like the whole thing with the system. I did not expect that. Like I hadn't looked up anything for this show. So when I started watching it and it got to that point where he basically like dies and kind of gets revived by this system that's basically a video game hub was pretty awesome, especially because I do enjoy playing my games like Zelda, freaking Diablo, like I mean, what's another one? Elden Ring. Like it was hitting all these like key like elements of the gaming experience, the RPG gaming experience that I love because you do get to power up yourself. You get to like pick different attributes, like what attributes to power up. And I know when it comes to me and playing those games, it just requires so much of like how much fun do I want to have with this, or do I just want to like OP the whole thing? And I don't know, like I kind of went along with him, and I agreed. I'm like, yeah, start with strength, my boy, start with strength, and then after that, you're like, oh man, but I have no intelligence. Like, how do I do magic? And I don't know. I love the way that it kind of developed, and then once it hit the end, holy crap, that's what I didn't expect, and just. I played Necromancer on Diablo and I love it
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
So
dude, yes.
that is the reason why like now I kind
Same.
of do enjoy solo leveling because I'm like, wait, what's next? Like I want to know what's next.
You know what? Actually, I think I didn't do Necromancer, but I wanted to. Like, that's who
Yeah.
I think I did Assassin. So I'm kind of like him. Like, I started with Assassin, and then I feel like towards the end, I was heading towards like Necromancer
You
because
did
I
switch.
wanted
You
it.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
switched. Yeah, or
Well, I mean,
I had another character on the side.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I liked all that. So I mean, for that, I'm kind of in, and I'm excited to talk about it because I feel like where I missed some points, maybe you guys can help me. But other than that, I think it's more about what's next and what this season seemed like very introductory. So.
Ro, what kind of class were you on Diablo 4?
I never played it, but now I can because it's on Game
Battle
Pass.
Pass. Yeah,
There
Game
you
Pass.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Damn, not me paying $100 for it.
Oh my god. Same.
yeah.
And I heard it got better somehow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I heard something like they did a
Should I
big
play
upgrade.
it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. They're fun.
All right. Okay, I will.
You'll feel like him in this whole mode. Like starting in the beginning, where like the weakest of things kick your ass, and then just like a couple levels later, they're like the title comes out in white, and so he so said it.
Are they goblins?
The goblins,
Yeah.
not in this one, but yeah, same difference.
Ro, I think you were the first one that started on solo leveling, so you kind of the one that I heard you talking about it little by little, and
Mhm.
obviously the conversation got a lot bigger when Mr. Beast was like saying like how
Oh.
much he hated episode 7.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, or 8. I don't know
Uh,
which episode it is.
No. Because I started watching it from the start. Like when it came out, I was watching week to week in Japanese every Saturday when it came out. I was watching that in Mash, or Mashal. So it's I from the beginning I was hooked. It kind of gave me vibes from Sword Art Online, like the beginning of like season 1 of that, like in combination of like a reverse isekai and
Yeah.
a couple of different things that I thought was really cool. And I was really intrigued by the world, and then how the whole system works, how the hunters and the portals and the dungeons, like how the whole, because it also kind of gave me like D&D vibes because I
oh
play
yeah.
D&D as well. So it kind of gave me all of these things put together, which I really enjoy, and I'm really into like fantasy animes and power systems and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. And then I think the thing that really worked for it, which I hated, is how every episode kind of left you hanging and kept you
Yeah.
wanting more.
I
And
like
since I
that. Yeah.
yeah, since I was watching it week to week, I hated it because then I had to wait another week to see like what happens or the next part. So it was cool, kind of rewatching it this weekend. So I rewatched it in English until I ran out of episodes in English. I think it was just like the last two episodes.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch in Japanese, but at that point I was already thinking about like reading the manhwa, and this weekend I read up until where the anime is, and then like I read like another two chapters.
Oh, cool.
Um, but it was interesting to see kind of what, like the differences that they did, and I'm glad on the majority of the differences that I saw
Nice.
in what was written and what they did in the anime. So I think the anime people have been pretty good with it, especially with their changes.
Yeah, no, man, I love reading stuff and then kind of watch it translate. I'm not always like, I'm not really able to always like pick up like where they took maybe like different approaches because I think most of them do try to stay very loyal to the material. So that's kind of nice to know that this one
Yeah.
kind of took some changes. And I did hear that about it, about solo leveling, because I think the mom doesn't get the disease till like later on in the manga, where in the show, like right away, she's like, you find out that she's already been hospitalized and she's been in this disease, right?
No, in the manhwa, it's like pretty much off the bat, the same as anime. Like
Oh, really?
they kind of recap and they say like when pretty much when like 13 years prior when all the portals showed
Yeah.
up, that's when the mom got sick, and then she got the sleeping disease.
That's cool, man. That's a disease I wouldn't mind having, the sleeping disease.
About that one, but yeah, I mean, at least you're not going through pain, you know. It's just losing.
I
As
mean,
far as you know.
Well, I
as
mean,
far as
yeah.
we know, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of isekais, man, and the reason why is because there's so many of them, and you know they keep
Yeah.
like it seems like there's like a non-stop to them. It feels like everything's an isekai. Even DC's getting that DC one, the Suicide Squad one, which is
Yeah.
weird, but I'll probably somehow end up watching it if I hear good things. But this one I did like the whole reverse isekai, and I think what I really do appreciate about it is that the main character, he's kind of fucked up inside, man. Like he plays the, hey, I'm okay being an E rank and I'll do all these things and I'll get stabbed and I'm a Mr. Nice Guy. But man, he definitely has something inside of him where it's just like, you know, you see it in the second episode, like, why did I have to be the one to die? Why did I have to be the one left behind? And you see that later on in some other episodes where he just gets so mad. And I think that's part of the reason why he got this power, because I think that statue in the first episode gave him those powers. And obviously that statue, it's very like evil looking. And I'm glad that I finally know where that meme with that smile came from.
Oh,
I didn't know it was from Solo Leveling. So I was really happy when I saw that.
Yeah, and I mean, go ahead, Ro.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, like he's very human, and he's easy to like understand and relate to, which helps. Even kind of as throughout the anime, he's kind of like becoming like losing some of the feelings. There's a point
Yeah.
where I think he's gonna kill someone. I don't remember. I don't remember what part exactly, but like the little fire burns out because that one the surveillance guy, that he's not even mad at him anymore, so he like loses that small feeling that he would have had towards him, but I think he's slowly, as he gets more powerful, I'm guessing he's gonna kind of get more and more desensitized.
Which is cool, man. I like that about your hero, right? You're following somebody that maybe by the end of it, it's going to be your bad guy.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
And it's like such an easy like comparison to make it to like someone like Shinji in Evangelion, but it's like I like with him with Sung Jinwoo that like at least when he is like the worst like hunter ever, like he still wants to be there, man, and he's still giving it some effort, like, you know. So like he's going to these like raids, he's doing these dungeons, and even though he sucks, even though he's getting hurt, like my boy's in there like doing his best and trying. It just sucks that he's so incompetent that is just kind of like, you know, he seems kind of like a meme at one point. But it's like, I don't know, like I truly did like his progression, because yes, of course, once you start seeing like his development as he's solo leveling, First of all, his physical change kind of caught me off guard because I don't know when all this. I think it was the scene where like the sisters not checking him out, but she noticed that he kind of lifts his shirt a little bit, and she's like, "Have you been?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then all of a sudden, like I know it was more obvious before then, but I think at that point it's more like, "Oh, this is actually just happening for real." I thought he was just like working out, and now looking back at it and watching it the second time, I'm like, duh. The second that he was able to level up, clearly he was going through some changes. Like his hair was getting shorter, he was getting taller, and then of course he was getting ripped. So
no, I mean we have friends that are kind of like they could use more meat on them, and I feel like if they got more meat on them, they would totally look like They would look like a different person. I would be like, holy smokes, like who is this like handsome stud here?
Long hair, beard, ripped.
Oh my god,
tall.
Just use your imagination, guys. If you don't know our friends, just use your
I think
imagination.
we all have some friends that they could use a little bit more muscle, in our groups.
How do we get the system, man? I don't know. I still just love that idea of the system, but
I have one thing that I think could make the show a lot better. I think if going into an episode, I think it would be so cool if they would tell us what items he has available. Because that's the one thing that I'm like, I don't like the fact that like he pulls up items and I'm like, well, did he have that before, or did I just miss when he got it? And I like the idea of like knowing what's in his inventory, including the money and what kind of stuff he can buy from the shop. Because that kind of makes me feel more like I am invested in watching this character. Yeah, a player, like a video game.
Yeah,
dude, and honestly, that's the biggest reason why I wanted to read the manhwa, is because I kept like missing what was on the screens, and then like his abilities, like I had like no idea what like some of the abilities really did, because there's some that in the anime they don't even like say what they are, like the longevity. Like in the anime, you have no idea what it is. They never mention what it is until I read the manhwa. Then I figured out, which is why it makes sense that when he fought the Cerberus, like he didn't die, and stuff like that. So when we get to that part, I'll explain what that is, and then the names of some of the abilities are different in the manhwa, but I like the ones in the anime better, and it totally makes more sense.
Dude, really? I don't want to say this because I don't want your son to get more sick, but I like the fact that you brought it, Ro. You look like you brought all the facts and everything. I'm just gonna like lay back in this episode.
Yeah.
No, I read it in the weekend anyway. I wasn't even like expecting to miss.
Well, you're like our big. Me and Ramon probably are on the video game side, like the ones that do play them more, and then you're more on the D&D side where these like terms from that. So yeah, I think it makes as well.
Dude, my question for me was like, you get a cloak. Why would you not put that on right away? Like, who doesn't want to wear a cloak right off the bat? Even though you found out that it was clearly going to be like invisible, so it was going to be more of a stats type of thing. But like, I was just laughing when I saw that little screen. And he's like, "Oh, and I gained a cloak." And he just keeps going over. I'm like, dude, why wouldn't you put that on right away? Like, come on, who doesn't want to wear a cloak?
Dude, and I also know friends that like have loot boxes and they stack them up. And I'm like, dude, why would you stack them up? Like, open up. Like it freaking bothers me. Like their whole logic behind like, oh, I'll just stack them up because then I'll get something better or something from like a previous version.
You just hit on a point of why, and again, I don't know if it makes a difference. Maybe if you are a little bit more of a gamer, you do have experience with games that have this kind of like system in place. I don't know. It just makes it really enjoyable because I know specifically for like Elden Ring, this is how I felt. Where sometimes I had to make adjustments in the middle of like kind of a fight, like obviously not in the middle of a fight, but like literally go from one end to like making an adjustment right away, then going back in there. So like I know skipping a little bit ahead. I mean, I know towards the end when he's fighting all those like the knights, right? And because he gets penalized, he gets to able basically take a break and kind of redo his whole like setup, and then he comes back and he does differently.
Yes, yeah. He also bought the new dagger. That goes against the like armor piercing pretty much dagger. Yeah,
it's such a good video game like mechanic of actually because again in real life we know you're not gonna get those like timeouts or the pause, right? You can't, like you're not going to. But I think I do love the idea of basically saying like, hold on, time up, like let me do this real quick, and all of a sudden you have a little bit of an advantage, or he's like healed back up again. So I mean that's just really cool on its own. What I was telling Raul was like looking ahead a little bit into like the world and some other characters as we were kind of like waiting to start this episode. I don't even know what kind of show it becomes because there's just so many cool characters that I saw.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be so much of this show that I'm going to enjoy eventually. But yeah, this first season was just kind of getting into it, you know.
No, definitely, dude. It's you kind of reminded me about Elden Ring, and like there were times where like right before going into a boss, like I would drink like 10 different potions just to be able to like right away start the match and like not get my ass whooped right away. So yeah, like that's definitely exciting. And yeah, you're right, man. There's a lot of cool things to look forward to. I like the fact that eventually there's an S rank guy that's gonna go after him, and he has to train. Like whether he wants to or not, he has to train because this S class is gonna come and confront them. So that's going to be really cool, you know?
All right, how about we kind of start with the show and kind of there's
Yes.
a lot of cool things.
What did happen in that island? I need to know.
Dude,
Lost.
dude, that's
Lost all
the
over
thing
again.
too. Dude, that's the thing too. So like, I was hoping that like in what I read, they would explain more of the island, but they didn't really explain a lot.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, so because like the anime starts with they're on the island,
Yeah.
and then you see like these hunters like fighting ants, or I think they were fighting ants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
White
they're
ant.
getting crushed, and then like a group of S rank, like a party of S rank hunters shows up. They start killing everything. So like everything besides this like scene in this island, like you never see more than one S rank like person near anybody else. It's even rare to see like an A rank person. So especially less. I think there's only like 7 S rank hunters like
Yeah, I
in
think
all of
something
Japan,
like that.
in all of Japan, which is where the anime is. So if you have like a group, like a whole like squad of S rank hunters all together, that and the island won, so that kind of shows you like how bad the island got.
Yeah. No, there's definitely the mystery, especially because you got that one S rank that puts the team back together at the end to like round 2. So I don't know how that. I don't
The
think that's going to
mage.
work in their favor. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
The
think that's going to
mage.
work in their favor. I can already see like starting the next season and like they're all dead or some of them are dead.
Yeah.
Well, he's going there to as in a recon mission. So who knows how close they're gonna get, or how thorough
I
they're
mean,
gonna.
there were hints that they lost like one of them lost like a girl. Maybe that was important to him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
The white tiger guy. I think he lost his. I don't know if it was his sister, his wife, or who it was. But also the red headed mage guy. He also lost someone because he had nightmares. Unless that was the same girl. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something that I like about the show is that like some of the class that you're gonna be put into, like you don't know what class it is till you like
I know.
I did not like
the
that.
awakening. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it's
I'm not,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. It's like imagine like I know. I mean, at least I don't want to be a sorcerer or a healer. You know, like I don't want to be that. So that would kind of suck for me.
I would want to be a sorcerer. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to be a healer, but I'll be a healer if I have to be a healer.
So
No.
another thing that kind of from another game, like here we are, like in Overwatch, right? And I hated the scene where they're fighting the golem in the city, and they're like they're bitching at the healers because they're not healing the tank hard enough. And I'm just like, you kidding me? Like I would
Heal the
hate.
tank.
And that's considering that in Overwatch, like there are more supports and you're supposed to do a good balance of like damage and everything, and you have some other like great things to do. But anyways, long story short, I would hate to. My sole responsibility in this world is to be a healer and literally to just do nothing but like freaking heal everybody left and right as they get hurt. Beneficial and important to the team. I just not what I want to do.
But healers also see that's a part that's also kind of more like D&D as well, because healers can also like do buffs and I'm guessing debuffs as well. So it's more than just healing. It's more of like tactical and battlefield control.
But you're basically someone's corner. You're basically someone's corner man, or like
it's a support class. It's
Yeah,
definitely a support class. It's not damage dealing. It's not tank. It's not in the midst of it. But,
well, I think I have like a bad taste with healer in the show just because the B rank doesn't seem to be able to do like a lot, and I'm like, you are technically higher than some of the classes that we've seen, and some of these other lower rank people can do amazing things. So it's like, why can't this B rank lady do so much more?
But didn't they make it a point that was after they had the encounter with the god statue?
No, yeah, because if you think about it, like when they went into the double dungeon,
Yeah.
Like Sun Jinwoo, like he lost his leg, like and he didn't bleed out or anything because of her,
Yeah.
and then she was going around like healing more than just him too. So it's just the amount of healing, and then he even in the beginning when he got his first whatever, like she had already like healed like multiple different things from him, and she completely like closed them up. So I'm guessing that it's there was a difference because like after the double dungeon, like she could just not concentrate. It was she pretty much had PTSD.
Yeah.
But before, like she was already a scaredy cat, which is why she went into E and D rank dungeons only
I think the
as
only
a B
time
class healer.
I think the only times healing has been done really well is like Naruto, where it's like this idea of like you got Lady Tsunami, or what's her name?
Tsunade.
Tsunade. Yeah, this idea of like, hey, you think I'm a healer? I'm gonna stand behind. Like, no, it's the opposite. Like, she can unlock her ability and like
Oof.
die multiple times and instantly heal. And it's like, okay, that's a great way of doing it. When
Like
you're
1,000 lives or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, whatever it
definitely.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that was crazy. I mean, just well, I do like the idea that you do have some like a class like a healer still part of it too, because I don't know. I think like these animes do take it like a little crazy sometimes, where there is nothing but like fighting, like damage, and again, if we're calling classes like then tanks and stuff like that. But like I don't know, like My Hero Academia, like what's her name, Nurse Girl. Just the fact that like they have, yeah, they had just have someone that can ultimately. I don't know if it's a cheap way out, but in this show it makes sense, right? Because you are
Mhm.
already going with that world of like a video game of kind of D&D of like you have your classes and all this, and it's just I don't know, it fits perfectly. Again, it's not I don't love the system of you don't get a choice of what your powers are because
Yeah.
and what rank you are, because then it's just like unless you have a second awakening, which I like that concept, but I'm like they said that it was a rare occasion, so yeah, it must be like a start, like especially like him, like Sung Jinwoo, like to be stuck at the E, and then just kind of that's what you're supposedly gonna do for the rest of your life. That
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I
tough.
think that is frustrating to be stuck in like in a low rank, and something I wish I had better understanding is like the currency, like how much
Oh
does
yeah,
like he obviously was working construction, the main character, and then he dropped that so he could do this, and I'm like, how much money are you really earning from like earning as a construction worker? Because I mean, they get paid pretty good, so I'm like, I really want to understand like the currency and the money situation here.
yeah.
Yeah, so something that was in the manhwa that wasn't in the anime. In the manhwa, there was a recession.
Oh,
Oh
so
shit!
that helps.
so that was part of the setting too, which is why like so many people went into hunting. That
Yeah.
that had awakened is because there was a recession, so there was like not a lot of work, but there was plenty of hunting that you could do, and then because of the those gems or crystals or whatever they were called, um, or the stones, the essence stones,
You,
because of them, they were able to like make a living, but E rank, there were so many E rank
oh really?
that the majority didn't even hunt because like E rank hunters could really only go into like E maybe D rank dungeons. Uh, but there were so many of them that it was just kind of like
Hard to get.
yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
because there were more E rank hunters than dungeons to really make a living.
I mean, like, Ramon's stronger than me on any day, but if all of a sudden I got to awaken to be like on an E rank, I'm pretty sure that gives me like a little bit of a stepping stone to maybe overtake Ramon that used to be like was stronger than me. Like, so
Yeah. And even him, the worst, like the worst hunter of, or the worst E rank hunter of mankind, or whatever his nickname is.
yeah,
uh even at like 10 mana or whatever ranking system thing that they use, like
yeah,
he's still better than any normal human.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
But
that'd
what
be kind
makes
of cool,
sense. Yeah.
man. Awaken and then don't do it. Like, just go back to your normal job.
no, yeah. But that's kind of the thing that like these magic creatures, you can't shoot them. You can't use like normal. You can't even like use normal like blades.
Yeah.
You've got to have some sort of magic something, and they emphasize that more in the manhwa because in the manhwa, like he never really uses like any items. He just bare hands everyone, which is
Oh
why he
wow.
gets hurt. because he spent some money on like on a mediocre knife once, and he used it for like 2 raids, but it cost so much that like when the money that he made versus how much it cost, that it wasn't worth it. So he just barehanded it, like everything, so that he could make enough money to send his sister to school and support the mom's medical bills.
Well, I just have a question, and that is, Ramon, how much would you charge me to come to my house and punish me if I don't do these daily tasks that are assigned to me? Because I want to pay somebody to come and give me some punishment if I don't do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, or
I think this
10-kilometer run.
I think just the pure satisfaction of punishing you, I'm down for free. Pro bono. Pro bono, man.
But think about it,
Best
man.
deal.
You have like a Apple Watch, and if you don't do this, somebody will come at your house and do like, I don't know what the punishment has to be, but I think that's the next step of I think we need
Fitness.
to go to Shark Tank with this and try to get some money, man.
We should invent it like some kind of freaking Squid Game / solo leveling penalty for not walking your footsteps for the day. You get stabbed in the freaking wrist. Okay.
It's the best way to motivate a person, I think, honestly. I mean, him, he would get transported into like a different dimension and get chased by worms, but we don't have to go to that extent.
Yeah. I like that part of it too, because like not even knowing what the system is, but seeing that it puts him in a real place, because he was gone from the hospital when that happened, when he got penalized and he got put in with the giant centipede worms, that you were just kind of like, the nurses were all like, where did he go and where is he at? And it's just like knowing that it's not all in his head. It's another cool part of the show, because you're in reality, you're like, okay, obviously we are watching an animated story, but at the same time you're like, oh dang, this is for real, like, right? Like he's disappearing and he's going to a real world and he's fighting this, and everything seems to be life and death, but easy enough where he can kind of handle it. So that's cool.
There is one part that I keep thinking about and laughing at, and that's when they go to the hospital to like give him another test to see if he had a second awakening.
Oh yeah.
And then they leave the room, and then he's like, oh, I wonder why they didn't ask about the screen, the giant screen. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, like, why wouldn't you say something?
yeah, because that's also like the first time that we encounter the screen, besides when he's dying in the double dungeon.
Yeah,
like, and it says that like in 0.02 seconds his heart's gonna stop, like if he accepts to be like a player or whatever. That's really the first time. But then after that, like he just wakes up in the hospital and all that stuff, and then he brings that up. Yeah, I know, but the way he did it just kind of cracks me up. It's this idea of having like an imaginary friend, and it's like, you guys come to my house, and it's like, oh man, how come you guys didn't ask about my, like, you guys leave, and it's like, oh, how come you guys didn't ask about my friend, my clown friend over here? And it's just I don't know, man. Is he? No, I mean, obviously we know he's not crazy. We just don't know what's happening. And Ro, do you know how many chapters there are? Because I heard it ended, so it kind of gives me an idea of like maybe how long the story's gonna go for. I think it's like 200 something.
Okay, so Demon Slayer kind of.
So the 12 episodes of the anime is about just under 50 chapters that I read.
Okay,
so it's like 48, 49 chapters that I read.
Oh, really? So
yeah. But there's gonna be 6 seasons. They already said that they were gonna do 6 seasons of the anime. And I forget how many. I don't know if they said how many episodes they're gonna do.
And I'm sure there's gonna be movies, man. Like I just saw that they announced they're gonna make Blue Lock movie, and then that volleyball anime they're making a movie. Which I started watching the first episode. And then
I like it.
Ramon, I didn't know this. I didn't know this, but they announced like a Chainsaw Man movie about the next arc, and I'm like, oh, dude, how did I miss this? Like, we need to be more on top of these anime.
Yeah, and then right now there's a bunch of news with a bunch of other stuff with like Marvel and these other movies coming out too. But with the anime, I always feel like I miss them. I don't know, man. It's for this one, like I was telling Raul before we got on, like it was pretty exciting to see that it is finished, because then at least it seems like a pretty fluid transition into getting more and more seasons and getting a lot of it animated, which I don't know, again, always my favorite thing is to watch this stuff like bright colors and cool.
I mean, I like the fact that we have so many different animes that we're waiting for. We have the next Jujutsu Kaisen, Hero Academia. Now I'm adding Solo Leveling. Now I'm adding Blue Lock, and it's just like Chainsaw Man.
Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man.
So I feel like no matter what, at a certain point, like I'm always gonna be fed because there's always gonna be like something for me to like eat. Like if I think Demon Slayer is supposed to start off like next month, so I'm like, oh great,
Yeah,
like I'll
yeah,
have
man, yeah.
that. So that, and I'm still waiting for My Hero Academia because that shit's gonna come back really hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which Ramon, you gotta catch up,
I
man.
know. I'll get there
It's so
before it
good.
comes out. So
Yeah,
Do you know what we need to do? We need to set a date of like we're gonna record on all of My Hero, and then that way Ramon has an incentive to finish it.
if not, we
man, give me
punish
a
him.
week. Oh man.
Ooh.
If not, we
Uh,
punish him.
Hey,
But
quick question.
yeah, uh-huh.
So if you guys went into the double dungeon, like what type of person would you be within there? Like, would you be the one freaking out? Would you be the one trying
no.
to figure out like where to stand and try to figure out the commandments? Would you be kind of just listening and trying to keep up, or
I'd
Nah,
be
you
burnt
take
up, man.
you take it from Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusades. Like you literally try to look for clues. Like any clue you know is gonna help you survive. It's not the running
escape
and
room?
freaking out that's gonna do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
look,
I, li- I
yeah,
I like that they established that the main character. I mean, if there's something he has, is like wits. He's able to like kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
So, whenever he was always ranking himself up, like I'm kind of glad that he never. Like I understood why he never wanted to rank up like his what is it like that makes him smarter
Perception?
perception because
Oh,
I'm like this
intelligence?
intelligence. I'm like this is
Intelligence.
kind
Yeah.
of like already smart. So I'm like I don't really. I mean, I also would just do strength, because I'm like
Well,
he's already has like natural intelligence.
and I was honestly again not just because being a gamer, but that makes sense in general because he's known as the worst like hunter, right? So it's like you just associate that with strength all the time because you can't clearly defeat any monster. You're always getting cut up. Like it just made the most sense that he would have wanted to start with strength. And I think again, it's not like the worst idea because it does kind of make you like liable. It gives you a little bit more power for a little bit, but I do like that the show ultimately addresses that you do have to kind of start adding attribute points somewhere else because otherwise you're going to be like very leaning towards one thing. Like how important is it that you're so strong if you don't have the agility to catch up or like the defense to like survive? And that again was another piece that I'm like, oh yeah, do it.
There's on the latest season of Rick and Morty. There's an episode where Rick makes Morty a device that he can change his stats, like he can make himself like stronger, smarter on command. So it's really funny this idea that you can make yourself like intelligent on the spot if you really want to smart somebody, or just make yourself super strong. So it's just it's really really great
Yo,
episode.
That's funny.
if anyone, someone should pitch this to like Apple Vision Pro or freaking Oculus because can you imagine like playing a game like VR where you have your screens and you're able to like touch it up real quick and then just have a nice little sword in front of your hands or a nice little dagger and then just go ahead and start killing things throughout a dungeon?
So Sword Art Online?
Is that what it is?
No, he's talking about like the anime, dude. I
I'm
mean,
talking
that's
about
what
a game.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what-
game.
That's what the anime is. They're
But I
playing
want
like
a game.
yeah, no, I know.
Oh,
I
okay.
do. Yeah, a
well,
lot
dude,
of people
like
do. I'm sure.
it's
Yeah.
very famously known that without Halo Reach, the first one, like Xbox would have probably like died on the spot. But because they brought out this amazing game that everybody was talking about, everybody was playing it, it's the reason why like Xbox, I think, made a name of itself. So same thing with like Apple Pro, dude. The moment you say like, "Hey, we got Yu-Gi-Oh on it," and you can freaking like battle, and these creatures will come to life in front of you. That's the moment, like me and you, Ramon, we're picking up our, not that we're huge Yu-Gi-Oh fans, but just the idea of it, like finally after all these years, it's coming to fruition. For us to be able to do that, like that's really what I'm waiting for.
Well, but if you want to get nerdier, I mean, my dream is like, especially after watching Star Wars, right? And watching like the little chess game and how they have like all the little like hologram figures like fighting each other. Like, dude, Magic the Gathering was one growing up that I was always like,
Yeah.
oh, if you ever had like not just like the Magic the Gathering arena game where you're playing basically the card game on your phone, but like I would love to play a game where you do put down your cards, but then the whole world transforms around you. You have your powers. Like I don't know. I think this is why these types of shows like do so well because it's tapping into two things like animation, and then you have like your all kinds of like different types of arcs getting better and fighting monsters. But then with this one again, just that whole game element to it, like it's just I don't know. I think if you're a fan of that stuff, it's so for you.
I haven't played Pokemon Go to what it is today, but I remember I kind of got excited with that because like I really wanted it to be like more than what it was at the time. It was fun, but it really didn't give me like the Pokemon battles that I wanted. But it's like, man, even if they like release the second one and now they can actually like maybe move a little, like your Pikachu can battle my Raichu and go at it and we can watch that fight. Like, dude, hell yeah. Like, come on, man. It's just I don't know.
Except for you wouldn't catch me dead with the Pikachu. Just saying.
You're Sandshrew.
Yeah, there you go.
What if he wore a little cool hat?
Oh, okay, never mind. That changes everything.
A detective hat.
Yeah.
Sandshrew, very underrated character, especially because he whooped like Pikachu's butt. That one Sandshrew, like is Sandshrew the evolution of
No,
Sandslash is the big one. Sandshrew is the small.
Yeah. But still, though, man, you just have so many better Pokemon than Pikachu. But gotta love the OG.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What about the fights? Like, I was actually waiting like for him to ultimately fight like a boss. So what was his first one? The snake, right? Like the snake is the first one he had.
The snake in the subway.
The swamp queen or king or whatever.
Every boss battle, I expected him to just like die, man. It's just like it's true.
Well, he almost did.
When you video game, and especially like I'm gonna use Elden Ring as an example. It's like you die, man. It's like not till your like 10th try that you can maybe figure it out. And I don't know, man. I think some of them he should have. I mean, we don't know it. Maybe he does that. He'll respawn at a certain point at a certain level. So we don't even know if that maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah, but like so kind of like I said, like in the anime, it doesn't say what the longevity ability does, but like in the manga, it tells you. So whenever he gets to 30% health, then any damage that he takes is at 50%.
Oh,
so when he goes against the Cerberus, that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why. Like, because when he has more health, like each hit that the Cerberus does is doing so much damage. But then, like when he has lower damage, each hit is giving him less damage. So even after he did the full recovery, like because he takes damage all over again. But I like the battle in the anime better than the manhwa.
What I think that's part of the conversation that like the game sort of wants him to be able to like live and power up and level up. It doesn't want him to like die. Like that's not at all like the plans they have for this character. So yeah, I mean, whether the game maybe it's doing it purposely or maybe he's just kind of like getting lucky. I do feel like there's a little bit of the game intervening and like giving him help, so yeah.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if like we're ready to talk about this part, but like I do love the idea that the game pushes him to like switch to a different class or like different category. Because like I was totally unexpected. Yeah, I was totally not expecting that whatsoever. Like, I mean, because at this point we hadn't even seen a class to that type, right? Like we were just talking about like tanks and you're kind of like your normal hunters and then your support. But then Necromancer, like, was totally like a curveball to me. Like,
because all the mages that you've seen have been like attack type of mages, like the blasters or the ones that like, I think you saw like an archer type mage.
Oh yes,
but when they were fighting that golem thing,
didn't you want to scream at him when he was like gonna pass it up and the game's like, are you sure? Like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, do not pass it up,
dude. I know, like, really. After all of this.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if you're building a certain kind of class, but it feels like again, this is going to be uniquely you might be the only one in the world having this ability. And I like that Red Knight fight he had, man, versus like the Red Knight. That was really cool, and I'm a little bit surprised that he was able to beat that. Yeah.
Well, dude, and then I don't know if they said this in the anime. In the manhwa, when he's choosing, he brings up. Do you know that S-class, the S-class hunter that was fighting with the claws, on the island from the White Tigers?
Okay.
So in the manhwa, Sung Jinwoo says like, oh, maybe it's like that guy, because I think he has like a special type of class that lets him like attack with his actual hands, as if they were claws. And I wonder if he's able to transform or something. I don't know. I didn't get that far, but I think he has a special type of class.
Something that I'm enjoying in this episode is like watching you struggle with us talking about the show, knowing you read the manga, because now you can kind of understand what was happening with me when we do Demon Slayer.
And I know I just want to spoil it.
and I have to like pretend like I don't know what's coming or what's happening, or so it's just funny to kind of have you now on the spot. You're next, Ramon. You'll eventually read something, and then then we'll watch the movie of it.
I don't know, maybe, man. Get me into some Zelda stuff when that live action comes out. I'll be like, I'll read you the Bible.
God.
The Zelda Bible.
Yeah.
No, but I do love that because, like I said, me and Raul has spent like a little bit of time talking about this before. But like I was mentioning some things, and he's just like, obviously, you said you didn't read up like so far ahead. But I'm excited that if you are going to read ahead, I want you to kind of not spoil it, but do tell me a little bit of what's about to happen. Because like I told you, some of those characters that I saw look insane.
Yeah.
And then I did the whole god system is something that we really haven't explored, right? Because like, where did he get his powers? Like the god statue that he was kind of dealing with in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And it does seem like it's a bigger like fight than obviously clearly, right? Because like who is creating these gates and who's letting all these monsters cross into this world? So it seems like very manipulated, and I just kind of want to know like who's at the top and see his progression like through fighting those people.
Who made the game? Is it like a Matrix type of thing?
And is it actually really related though? Like, is it separate? Like, is the like
I don't know.
the overall fight that's going on and these monsters actually have like I don't know. I mean, clearly the game is based on like a dungeon type game, so it has to be like interrelate. Like I don't know.
Like I keep wondering, is it because he completed the ritual and he was the last one and he sacrificed himself? Is that what cost him somebody to give him the abilities? Or was it just like, no matter what, somebody was walking out of that with the abilities? So it's just like, I don't know, man. Like I want to know more about it. And hopefully it's a smart like twist, nothing like dumb, idiotic, where it's just like, okay, well now I'm kind of, hopefully it's not a Matrix situation, where, or a Swords Arts Online role where they are in the game and we don't know it.
Yeah, and they're all like in the Matrix kind of thing, and the Matrix is this world, so it like really is an isekai.
It's their fifth version because we kept rejecting all the other worlds, and like yeah, that's funny.
No, but I will say one of the biggest differences that I like that the way that they did the anime better because of how the character looks. So when he's fighting the guy from the surveillance group, in the anime, like he fights him and that's over, and then he defeats the boss. So in the manhwa, one of the prisoners is still alive, and then Sung Jinwoo ends up like realizing that he's still alive, and then he takes him into the boss chamber, and then kind of like throws him at the boss. Kind of as like, hey, and he says something about like, there's probably nothing compared to what you did to your victims or whatever. And he just like pretty much like murders this dude, this criminal or whatever.
What do you think they chose not to show that in the show?
Because they want you to like Sung Jinwoo, and this is something that's a little bit more like conflicted, like morally. Dude. I think that they want to like either space out the either transformation or whatever.
Dude, I was watching Lisa Frankenstein, this movie that kind of came out this year, and like something I'm gonna tell my daughter when she starts dating is like, dude, if you ever meet a guy and he's like pitching you the whole "I'm a nice guy" situation here, this is why you need to date me, and be like, you run away from that guy. You tell me who that guy is,
but I am a nice guy.
No, well, that's the thing. It's just like you want. Why do you need to like him? Why can't you just see this guy that he was sort of like an E rank? Everybody, like his mom got put in the hospital. He could have died at any moment. Like, why can't we just see him all of a sudden? Yeah, like love the fact that he has power, and now all of a sudden he's strong and he's cocky. Like, I don't care, man. I don't care if I start like hating him as long as he's doing badass shit. Like, it doesn't matter with me.
Well, I want him to. Well, I want him to be good. Like, I want characters to be good.
We got so many good guys already.
Yeah. No wonder you like Magnifico, Carlos, or that fucking Wish movie. No, I mean, but I agree. Like, human nature makes like sense, right? Like, maybe they didn't show that part, but we got it in that scene where like the one other hunters that were trying to betray them, and they were gonna leave him and the Yu Jing-hoo, the other guy, like in the dungeon and let him fight the spider. And then, after they come back and they find out that they were trying to like betray him the whole time, and that was the whole like plot that they do. Like, I love that as he's killing them, like he's kind of gaining a satisfaction from it because he's getting to a point where he's like, oh, I did this, I didn't want to, but I had to, but it feels so easy. And it's like, and then later in the season, he also revisits that, and he's like, who were these guys to think that they were stronger than me, right? Like I was laughing the whole time, and I'm just like, this bitch is turning like cynical as hell. Like he's just kind of like, oh, no one's as good as me now.
Yeah.
And I like Carlos said, like I like that too, because I mean, you would have to be like the most benevolent person in the world to not let that power get to your head. After getting stronger and stronger, to be like, oh fuck yeah, and now I'm the strongest one. Like, you know, it's just human nature to ultimately let that get a little carried away. And I'm hope there's a good arc where it kind of pushes him back and tells him like, hey, stop it. But I think it's we're prone to get some, especially now that he's gonna be a necromancer. Like, I can't imagine what kind of not evil shit, but like what kind of like kind of bordering the edge of right and wrong shit he's gonna be doing, you know, because like necromancy's like, oh,
dude, and that's a cool thing too, because like necromancers aren't necessarily meant or like looked like the best type of character with moral wise, because they like bring people back from the dead, or they use dead bodies or whatever, so they're always depicted as like evil or bad or in some way or whatever. So it's kind of interesting to that the class that the system chose for him. It wasn't even him that picked it, but the system says like, you do this, you go on your own, death follows you and all that stuff, so you're gonna be a necromancer. It's like, what?
Dude, back in my what was it? Oh my god, I forgot what the game was, but I Necromancer was my class, man, because like you could just revive your fallen, like not just your friendlies, but like your enemies. This is like always super cool, man. Warhammer, that was my class, nice. And the Necromancer.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like with the Necromancer too, like Raul, you're definitely right about like every time that I play Necromancer in any video game, I never feel good about it, but it's one of my favorite like classes because of the power of what you do, and I think just for who we saw him be in this season and his growth, I'm excited to see what he does with that. And then also the fact that he already captured that like that Red Knight as like his first like strong like freaking soul. It just goes to show me that it's gonna be some crazy ass shit, because it's not just like reviving like 6 of the same like knights or like, you know, 10 of the same like freaking goblins. It's gonna be like, oh, you can actually have like a powerful warrior on your team. So then all of a sudden you're gonna be like OP with the whole gang of like, you know, revived souls. Like, oof.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking he's probably gonna kill one of the S ranks, and then he's gonna maybe like necromancer him, and maybe now he has like an S rank guy that fights along his side.
That's gonna be the thing though, because like he has to be able to kind of pull them. So that's what happened with Igris the knight. That like he had to. I don't know if he had to, but he fell twice out of the 3 times, and then he like kind of talked to him and tried to convince him or whatever, and then he like it worked the 3rd time. But it's one of those things that like he has to get good enough to be able to pull, like if there's a dead S class, he has to be able to pull them into his servitude.
And then
it's like anytime I hear a character that's like their name is Red, obviously the knight because it was a red knight, but it's just like it always reminds me of like back in the Pokemon days, and like Gary in the games was like, I think Red. Yeah, like, man, fuck Red. Like I'm gonna catch up to that guy. I'm gonna fuck him up. Yeah, I think it's like for just like a simple name, I think Red is very effective. Like kind of wish my gamer tag was just like Red.
That'd be great. No, another thing I was gonna say, just with the whole him becoming a necromancer too, I wonder how that's gonna play into like the world and the class system now, because again, we haven't seen necromancer with any other hunter, right? And assuming that he's still
there is no necromancer, it was a hidden class.
Oh yeah, that's true, but that's what I'm saying. So I wonder how that's gonna play into like now he's gonna continue, because he's still doing this thing with his friend, right? That like they're still trying to like do this so that he climbs to the top, and then he
need to talk about him because we haven't mentioned him at all.
Yun Jinwoo. I liked him. I thought he was hilarious with the fact he's a rich kid, so that automatically he'd be me on a lazy day when I'm paying for some augments and paying for like these extra things in the game, and it's like, oh, did you just play for
night?
Yeah, it's like, oh, did you just play like for hours and hours? Like, no, I just spend my money. It's okay. Money's expendable. Well, for this case, it's not my dad's money; it's mine. So, but yeah, I mean, I did like that because he always had like something. Just with his armor in the beginning was just kind of like funny to see that. But later on,
I think it's funny that like they keep thinking like, how did they survive this? And they keep focusing on him as the reason why they were able to like survive the situation. It's just like
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
probably his armor.
Probably his
Oh my
armor.
god!
Well,
Yeah,
that whole
but
that
no,
whole
eventually he has that really cool looking one that he can't even like walk
take
with
him
it.
off.
Dude, it's so big.
So big.
It's kind of like the Fallout armor guy, except
Imported from
impractical.
Italy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that Fallout 1 looks impractical, but
yeah.
No, but it was definitely funny. And then I'm intrigued by the girl, by the sister's friend from the high school, because
Hmm.
like they seem to be kind of like emphasizing her a little
Perfect.
bit. So I kind of wonder because she's what, like E class or D? I think she's E.
yeah, it's just a lower rank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they keep kind of showing her like if it's going
That's
to be relevant at some point.
that's the kind of thing that sucks. It's like if you happen to be an S rank when you awaken, it's like the lottery, man. They like put your face all over it, and all of a sudden you're a celebrity. It's like, oh man, what if I just wanted to keep it like low key, Like you go out and blast the fact that I'm an S rank now. But I guess in the world it matters because you could be like useful towards saving lives. So yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you can be hella dangerous, kind of like
Yeah,
the one that went to America, the younger brother of the guy that died.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ramon in Blue Lock, there's a guy, super cool guy. He's like gifted. He's like a genius, but he's like doesn't want to do shit, man. Like his whole thing is
Oh,
like you need to carry me, like you need to carry me. I don't want to do
What?
this. Like lazy as fuck. And then eventually, like he has like an awakening, and now it's like, oh hell yeah! Like this guy, like all of a sudden, like never wanted to do anything in his life, but now all of a sudden, like he had an awakening moment, and it's like, oh shit! Now I want to be the best. So now you're fucking like, hell yeah! Like this kid is like, he was good when he was lazy. Now him actually trying, like, hell yeah!
So Shikamaru, because I Shikamaru too.
yeah.
I don't know if Shikamaru was ever like, I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
he
so,
was
yeah.
he's like that's a drag. What a drag. And it's not that he was like not good or
But
didn't want to,
but
but
it's
yeah,
like
the whole
it's
idea of
like
laziness.
Shikamaru if he was like the leader of the group. Like, all right, you're the leader
Oh,
of
he was the leader. That guy was.
Yeah, he's like the number. He was like the number one of the group, and it's just like, but he was just like lazy, and it's just like the moment he had the awakening, it's like, oh shit, like you were the number one of that group with being lazy. Now that you awaken, now you're gonna be like so freaking cool, and he
Yeah,
does become cool. He has some of the best matches.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I need to check that out for sure.
it's cool. No, but
I mean,
dude,
yeah,
but yeah, it was Total Leveling. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I really want to see what happened in that island and what's going to happen in the island, because like at the end of the anime, I think is it like a post credit scene or mid credit scene that they're at the island, and then they realize that like the bugs or monsters are evolving,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
like
with the wing.
yeah. So I'm guessing that's gonna get crazier, and either the monsters are gonna try to get into the mainland, or they're going to
we
like have a big thing to.
we never find out what happens if you don't close. Like besides beasts keep coming out of the portal, so maybe that's the thing. If you like let them keep coming and you never truly close it, like maybe they just keep evolving, and that's what's happening with the island. It's like the one portal they can't close, and so they just keep getting stronger.
That's kind of what happened in the double dungeon, that he even brought it up when he was in there, that he can't let the dungeon win, because if there's a dungeon break, then that giant statue was gonna be was gonna
Lose.
come out into the regular world.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
No,
I mean,
dude. Cool.
like another thing too for me, like I know because we're nearing the end. I'm excited to see more action from everyone else, like this agency that's going into the island at this point. Because again, if you really think about it, besides like the hunters and then maybe that first fight in the beginning, we haven't seen too much action from other people and other characters. So I think I'm excited, right? Like there's the blonde girl that they show, the short hair blonde girl,
Yeah, she's
Oh
who
cool.
yeah,
like turned out to be like a badass, but then you really don't see her until the very
yeah,
end when they're going to the island, and now she's like dressed all like fancy. Like I love that they all have their individual outfits. So reminding me very much like My Hero Academia when they're kind of
Yeah.
in this academy thing, they're all wearing the same uniform, and then all of a sudden they're going into battle and they're all doing their own stuff, and it's just like I don't know, like I know it's gonna get so much crazier. So that's
yeah.
No.
She
That's my
seems like
hope,
a
man. Like I know, like I feel the same way as you, Ramon. Like this is kind of like a show. Like okay, like yeah, there's the hype. It's done really well. There's some cool things. Obviously we compare to like first seasons of some other shows. Maybe it doesn't rank up as high, but I do think it's like we're only seeing like the first few levels. Like once we see the next levels, it's gonna be like okay, well now this is clearly blowing this out of the water because it's just become so much different.
It did remind me of Tower of God. Now that we're mentioning it, like that.
Yeah, I wanted to mention
Yeah,
Tower of God earlier.
we never released that episode that we did of Tower
It's
of
a
God, but like,
Korean one too. Yeah,
yeah, and
Oh, it's Korean.
yeah,
yeah, that
I
one's
didn't know
Korean
that.
too.
he
Yeah.
already forgot that we already did this episode. I mean, like, no, but like, it did remind me a lot of it. And I think, for me, another thing that I'm excited for is with the gaming part of it, right? Like the system, like how far is that gonna go? Like, because in games like Elder Ring and stuff like that, like, level, like right now I'm like level 200 something, and that's after like not playing it for so long. And that's kind of where I left off after grinding for so long. But it's like, how far can he grind and how strong can he get? And what else can he do within that? And what is the whole goal of this? Like, I do want to know more about this
You know,
in its
you know,
entirety.
somebody can probably tell me this, but if there's a game out there that you can continue to level up and it truly never
Have a cap.
stops, let me know because even like most games like Lord of what is it? Stark? No, not Starcraft. Oh my god, I can't think of the name. But they have like a cap. It's always like 99, and that's where like, or you prestige in like some other games. But it's like, is there
Yeah,
a
yeah,
game
yeah,
where you
yeah,
can just
yeah.
continue to level up?
Yeah, cause like in like Call
Or
of Duty, like
yeah.
after you max your level, you can start all over. But you're like you have a further badge that shows, hey, I already maxed my level once. So I'm in my third try
Well,
to max my
Well,
levels.
Elden Ring, was there a cap, Ramon? Because I remember that game sort of like, depending on how high you were, yeah, like some of the bosses could have taken you like no trouble at all.
Yeah, and I
It
don't
just
remember.
eventually it gets really hard to like rank
Yeah,
up because obviously it just requires more
yeah.
experience.
I don't remember if there was a cap on that one. I know Diablo has a cap, but that's the same thing too. It's like you get to like level 100, and then there's like your dungeons do kind of like match your level, so they are going to be still challenging. It's not like you're just kind of beating everything like easily. But even on the ones that continue to grow, like you said, I don't know what it is, and that's why I'm kind of with this show. I'm kind of like, oh, well, what's it for that? What other weapons are we gonna get, right? Because I did like his like poisonous dagger, like that was pretty awesome, especially when he started doing his like stealth ability, because that was very much
Yeah.
like rogue class of like
Paralysis,
dashing, getting
drain.
invisible, like
Now
poison,
that he's
and
a necromancer, does he lose that
I,
ability?
I don't think he would
No,
lose
no,
that.
He keeps
he
Yeah,
it?
doesn't
Okay.
lose anything. He just keeps adding to what he has.
Okay. Okay.
but now he's gonna have to like develop his like intelligence skills and everything else to really do his magic, his summoning. Ah,
Well, the thing is that like all the abilities, they like the stealth and like the critical hit thing, like all those things, they use mana, and then how much mana he has is based off of his intelligence.
You know what's funny? You know for a fact there's another character in this world that's like leveling up like him. So that's gonna be when it's the interesting part when he does meet that counterpart of like
is it
that's
the
doing the
blonde
same
girl?
thing. Somebody we probably haven't seen, but I'm just saying like there has to be somebody else in this world. There's no way he's
Well,
unique enough. Yeah, go ahead.
she gave me that feel because they showed a scene, and that's why I brought her up, because they showed a scene where she's just like running and kind of working out a lot too, and it just reminded me of him doing
Oh,
his like workouts and all that stuff. Like,
Are you saying
seems
it's
like
kind of like a Edge of Tomorrow thing?
yeah, like you have two people that are like so, but like kind of belong together, or like their stories are meant to like meet up.
yeah.
But yeah, like you saw it from her because they were alluding to her a lot, right? They showed that she was cool and smooth and a great fighter. They mentioned her, and they were saying like, well, we're recruiting you for this reason, like you can be a teacher for this reason. But then ultimately too, like when you saw her working out, like you wouldn't invest that much time into a character because they didn't really do that to any other character where they're showing them like working out and running and just doing like basic exercises. So I think maybe she's a potential person who's also doing this game.
There,
I don't know.
there has to be something, man. Either the bosses in the levels are gonna just become like god level because he's gonna defeat the S ranks, and then after the S ranks, like it has to be a group of other people that were solo leveling. And I don't know, man, Ro. I mean, you said 200 chapters, and we've already done 50 chapters. Is that what they've already
I mean, it
animated?
might be more. I don't remember exactly.
I mean, less. You might. I mean, I want it to be less because it feels weird to like already have 50 chapters animated. Because normally one chapter can't take up one episode, so it's just kind of weird for you to tell me that. So I'm hoping that that's not the case.
270.
Okay, yeah. Oh man. Well, I won't start reading them because I feel like I want to start reading Chainsaw Man again because I heard something great happen in that. So I want to. If there's one that I want to kind of get back on, is Chainsaw Man.
Dude, if anything, I'm considering reading a JJK because I'm just so annoyed by stupid spoilers by the manga readers.
Harry
JJK.
Potter. Is that what you're saying? You're gonna go back and J.K. Robin or what's her name?
Roland.
JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I read the first one. It was really interesting. All right, man. Well, Solo Leveling, I have high hopes for you. Hopefully, you don't let me down, or else you're
Yeah.
dead to me.
I love it so far.
That's me. Game over.
I'm still contemplating whether I should continue reading it or not, or if I should just wait for the anime.
I like your shirt, Ramon. I just saw it too.
Oh, it's my Zelda Star Wars cross thing. But since we were talking about like leveling, you know, Zelda's my favorite leveling game.
I mean, he levels by getting equipment. Yes,
And hearts, yeah. It's I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
obviously
hearts,
yeah.
the system's a little different where it's not like levels, like numerical levels, but it's yeah. I mean, like in this reiteration of what is it called, freaking Tears of the Kingdom, I powered up so much before I started actually playing the game that when I started playing the game, I was just boop, 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 whooping everybody's butt. So you know, it's a way to do it. I told you, like he had the right idea. Start off with some good strength, and then it's just a little easier, you know.
yeah.
Coast a little.
I want to like finish Zelda and all these games that I haven't finished, but there's just no freaking time unless I quit my job. So,
Or you don't sleep. Do what I do. Don't sleep. It's good.
I finished all the N64 Zeldas, like Majora's
See, there you
Mask
go.
and all those.
yeah.
But you got to play the ones that like consume all your life, man. These last two.
Well, you know what? Now that there's a
Mm.
Fallout show, which we'll talk about next week, I can only hope that they'll make a BioShock show, and because to me they're very
Ooh.
similar from what I'm seeing on screen. So you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, man. Anything can happen. That's what that's.
Well, they're doing the Borderlands movie.
Yeah,
that
but that's a little like I don't know,
yeah,
man.
it's a
I don't
little
know
yeah.
either.
It's the actors that are playing some of those characters. I only played like a little bit of the games, but it's like I don't know. Like I just don't know for that movie. Like
It's copying. It's too many. Like the last trailer gave me too much Guardians like vibes, which in a bad way, like not in a good way. Just like you're copying the material.
Mad Max meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'll wait for reviews, but yeah, I still never saw that damn one movie with the dragons video game movie that came out. Dragon Hunter Dragons. Oh my god, I don't know. From the girlfriend with Resident Evil,
Monster Hunters.
Monster Hunters. Yeah, I never saw Monster.
Yeah, I never saw the
Hunters.
I never saw the movie either.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I watched it, but can I remember it? Nope.
With Mila Djokovic or whatever her name is.
Which, yeah.
Well, dude, after Fallout and One Piece, it looks like video game movies are back or shows, and it looks like
Detective Pikachu.
Sonic.
Yeah, dude. No, man. Yeah, like we're getting good stuff, man. It's a great time to be alive and watch all this stuff. So
And be a nerd.
Yeah. And be a nerd.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.
Peace.
Bam bus.
Love it.